Hashtag T2P, come and take a sip of the thought with me.
Hey, family. Hey. I was over here just cheesing, yes. Hey, everybody. We are back. You all have requested it. You all have sent in the messages. You all have sent the smoke signals and all of that good stuff. And I got the lovely Shadawn McCants back on with us. And we're going to have a little meeting of the minds today. We're going to talk candidly about something that we're both passionate about. And I'm going to stop talking for a moment. I'm going to let Shadawn introduce herself like y'all don't already know her. And then we'll go ahead and get into a little something. Go ahead, Queen. Tell them about yourself. Tell them about yourself.
You are such a mess. Hey guys, welcome back. As Titan said, we are excited to really come back and just have another candid, courageous thought to ponder conversation with you guys. We figure we merge our two worlds. So for those that don't know me, I am Shadawn McCants. I am a licensed professional counselor here in the Houston, Texas area. I am also the CEO and founder of To Know Is To Live. That is a nonprofit that focuses on all things HIV in the Black community with a specific focus on Black women and girls. And I am also, last but not least, it's a semicolon, a hashtag, all those things, you know, what you want to add to it, a beautiful, bold Black woman living and thriving with HIV for 25 years now. So I'm excited to be here with you guys to have this additional conversation as we talk about all things HIV, stigma, sexuality, what to know, what not to know, as we are embarking upon some phenomenal days that will bring additional awareness around HIV in the Black community. We are going to get into it. So welcome. You know, I'm sure Titan is going to tell you if you are here, if you are joining us, make sure that you like, make sure that you share, make sure that you host a watch party, and let's get into it.
Exactly. You better do it. That's what I'm talking about, national television. Yes, indeed, ladies. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy to be back with you all. We got some things that we're going to dive into, some very important, like, you know, things that we need to look at, but we're also going to dive into some funny things, some quirky things, some things that happen. And then we're going to dive into some questions because it is Black History Month, right? And as Shadawn stated, we are looking at National Black HIV and AIDS Awareness Day. So it's a lot that we have going on around the world, basically. And so we want to draw some attention to that and make sure that you all are, as Shadawn stated, like, sharing, subscribing, pushing, pulling, rolling the wheelbarrow with the square wheels, whatever it is that you're doing, we want to make sure that you actually are doing that. So ladies and gentlemen, share this live, share. Look Shadawn up as well. She gave you her credentials. Look me up. And always know this. Whenever me and Shadawn come together, we open up to say that you all can ask us anything. Ask us the question. Let us know what you're thinking. And I guarantee you we'll have an answer. Might not be the one you like.
If we don't have it, we'll find it. We'll get it.
How about that? That part right there. So ladies and gentlemen, y'all know I'm trying to let you all come in. I see messages saying that they're coming in. Okay, walk tall, people. Sandy said walk tall. Hey, ain't Sandy. Hey. So what I want to do, as we do every time we get together, I want to start off with just a little piece. We want to take a breath and just acknowledge that your breath is important, which you are acknowledging that your life is important. We'll take it, Ian. We'll take it. We cute. We cute and things. We cute. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we want to do is go ahead and acknowledge that your life is important. Acknowledge that your breath is important. Acknowledge that your life is precious. And especially for Shadawn and myself, we're acknowledging that just because we're HIV positive, that doesn't mean that we are any less of a human, any less of a loving person, any less of somebody who should cherish their life. 15 years, 25 years, we are thriving, we are living, and we want you to do the same. So let's take a moment. Let's take a moment. So I asked somebody today, do y'all know Tina Turner? And they was like, yeah, we know Tina Turner. So what I want you to do is take a little moment and give me a little Tina Turner action and relax those shoulders. Yeah, rolling, rolling. Hey, hey, Bernice. Hey, hey. Yes, y'all come over here. You okay? Left a good job in the city, working for the man. Oh, okay, my
That is my movie. So let's not go there because
okay,
we will not get where we're supposed to be tonight.
that part right there. That part. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So what I want you to do is just take a moment and relax yourself. And then what I want you to do is take the breaths with us. We're going to take 3 breaths. The first breath, I'm going to count it out. It's at a slower 5 pace. As Shadawn told me one time before, like I'm trying to choke somebody. Look, but what we want to do, we want to make sure that we come into the space and we come into the space with peace on our minds and peace in our hearts. So I'm going to go ahead. When I count to 3, I want you to take a deep breath. I'm going to count out the first one. I'll move my hands, right? The second one I won't count. The third one is especially special, right? Especially. Because what I want you to do is when you do that third breath, I want you to make some noise when you release it. That's telling the universe you're in control. That's telling the universe that you got it. And tonight you're going to have it with us because that's what we're going to do. We're going to make some noise. Now, if you're at work, in the library, we are not responsible if they tap you on the shoulder and tell you to go home. That's not our responsibility. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on the count of 3, we're going to take a deep breath in, and then we're going to count to 5. It's at a slower 5 pace, of course, and then we're going to release it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
You can tell I was the bad kid in school, but come on.
Okay. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So you should be having that come on in, right? So what I want you to do on the count of 3. Look. Okay.
Exactly. Like I ain't never held 5 counts.
Look. Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on the count of 3, we're going to take another deep breath in. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. And out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you should feel a little warm and tingly. None of you should be
lightheaded, maybe? Okay.
You should feel a little warm and tingling. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, on this breath, what I want you to do is when you take it in, think about that thing, good, bad, or indifferent. And I want you to push it out, blow it out to somewhere where it just can't come right back around, right? If it's good, yeah, blow it out and let it come back around. But if it's bad, blow it out and make sure you got to travel to pick it back up again. Y'all know what I'm talking about. On the count of 3, now remember, after this breath, when you release, make some noise. All right. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Deep breath in. And y'all remember that song Supersonic?
Wait a minute. Karma. And I used to say, come.
They come and go.
Thanks to Ian. No, it wasn't Ian. Thanks to Adonis. He got my life together. It was karma.
Okay. Okay. Most people don't even know that's what the bruh. Let me tell you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we yes, indeed, Erica. You gotta respect the breath, baby. You gotta respect
Erica.
it. Let me tell you. You gotta respect it. Y'all gonna leave me alone by my breath. Look, y'all gonna leave me alone by my breath.
Really? That's what we're doing? I didn't know this was a party.
No, you know, every time we get together, that's how it is.
I missed the memo.
Come on, Erica. I know, right? I decided to do a little something because you know, Shadawn come on here, she be all beautified and stuff, and I be trying to get in, so I had to do a little something. You know, I even put on a see-through shirt. You see that?
Well, you see, I am very simple today.
I
I
see. I see.
glossed
So
lip.
yes. So Shadawn, tell us about the Chucks and Pearls. Tell us what does
So,
that
in case
mean?
y'all don't know, which I would hope that you do, but in case you don't know, this Chucks and Pearls is, of course, to honor our first African American and Asian Vice President, Kamala Harris. Come on with it. And of course, as we know, when she was campaigning and on the campaign trail, she always wore Chucks. And she
Right.
just also happens to be a sorority sister of the Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated sorority. And so this is to honor her and everything that she, stands for. And I've always been a Chuck girl. I love me Chucks. If you go into my closet right now, I think I got about 15 pairs of Chucks. I love them. So of course, when I saw her wearing them, I was like, oh, come on with it. And so then, of course, in honor of her, we did Chucks and Pearls. And of course, I think they even made January 20th Chucks and Pearls Day.
Right.
National Day. But hey, either way, yes. So I had to come out and support for a girl that looks like me. So excited.
How about that? How about that? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna go ahead and dive into it. So let me just say this. Happy Black History. Happy Black History Month. We should be having Black history all year round, but happy Black History Month. If you don't know anything about Black history, then we need to start doing some research and learn some things. So earlier today, I posted on my Facebook, um, tell me something that you learned about Black history you didn't learn in school, right? And a lot of people were posting things that they recently found out, some things they learned after they got out of school, and some things that are in their adulthood with their children, they're just learning. So I don't think there's anything wrong with you just learning or learning through your children or whatever have you. The point is that we're learning what our Black history is. And so I really, really want to push for you not only during February, and I'm sure Shadawn can speak on it as well, but 365 days of the year, you're Black. And so, with that being said, your history is right. And we are history in the making. We are history. We'll go down in history as doing something. So, know your history. A lot of times, what happens is you see these things and they've been, excuse my expression, whitewashed to be something that is not significant, but it is significant because we are entrepreneurs, we are inventors, we are scientists, we are doctors, we're astronauts, right? How many of you knew anything about Hidden Figures? The women that was behind the actual space going to what? And they
They
were
they
like
put him in space.
that part, that part. So Shadawn, if there was anything that you wanted somebody to know about Black history, what would it be?
Oh, to be very honest, I think one of the biggest things that was, and I don't know if we've talked about this, Titan, but for me, I was raised in the Midwest in Cincinnati, Ohio, and so for me, I'm used to just celebrating Black History in the month of February. I have to be honest, it wasn't until just recently, and I've been grappling with it pretty much about the last year now, after the death of George Floyd, and actually, a few others before him, but specifically George Floyd, made me really sit with realizing that I was Black in America and that there was a lot that I didn't know. I think if I had to impart anything when we talk about Black history, we cannot forget the history of those that have gone before us. Like, for instance, I know I had maybe heard about John Lewis and Selma, but I didn't really know about Selma and what that meant. You know, when we talk about voting rights and we understand the voting rights, not just for us as African Americans, but what it meant for voting rights for Black women, and women, period. And so the other thing when it comes to history is understanding the history of systematic racism and how long it's been in place. That was another thing I did not understand. I didn't think it impacted me. I didn't know and understand oppression. I didn't understand redlining, what that meant. So I have to be honest. I'm one individual, like you mentioned earlier, someone, no, I don't have children, but I'm now feeling like I'm putting myself back in school to understand my history, to understand the history of my ancestors and generations before. So there's a lot that I didn't know that I'm learning, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it because, again, it wasn't taught to me. And I also, what I realized too was my parents and, you know, the generation that my parents were raised in, they did what they thought was best, which was to shield us from the things that we needed to know. And so now I realize that I am Black in America, and that the American dream that I thought that I was trying to reach for is more than likely not attainable, or wasn't attainable until, you know, hopefully right now, you know, with the governmental shift, we'll see some changes. But at the end of the day, I'm a proponent that we have to be the change that we want to see. So that's just kind of where I'm at with that.
That part. I think it's the same, Shadawn. I grew up here in Houston, over in Third Ward, and I didn't know that there was a difference until I moved away and went to a predominantly white school. And as I'm in this predominantly white school, my color was made known to me. Never knew, like I didn't know. I thought it was kumbaya and all was love, and until I was called. I'm gonna try to say it correctly. What I was called. They were trying to call me a nigga, but they called me a Niger, which I don't even know what that is, right? And so I'm speaking straight from the hip tonight. I'm not sugarcoating nothing. And so I, for the life of me, did not what? Oh, wait. I thought we were, you know what I mean? So that was a little blip. But then when I went into the military, I really understood what my grandmother was saying all those years ago. I understood about sundown towns and um, the the something that blew my mind was that I never knew that there were tickets to a lynching. There were advertisements in the papers. There were postcards about killing people and people taking pictures with people. It was in the newspapers, and for the life of me, that just blew me away. And from that day forth, I was kind of like, okay, so everything that I thought I knew, because I thought I was invincible as a teenager, and you know, as a 20-year-old, I thought I was invincible. I thought nothing could hurt me. That my parents and my grandparents and my aunts and uncles were all trying to protect us, like you said, from these things that were happening that they shielded us from. Because I don't know, as a child, if I would have been okay after seeing somebody strung up, castrated, or like, whoa. So I don't want to get too deep like into that, ladies and gentlemen, but Shadawn made a point, and it was the same for us. So I made it my duty every chance I get, every chance I can, to speak to our youth and let them know that they need to be informed, and let the parents know as well. Your children need to be informed about what goes on out there in the world, because we have been manipulated and bamboozled to believe that none of this stuff happened. And it's right there in the newspapers. It's right there. They sold tickets to a lynching. Like, what the? Who does that? But I digress.
Breathe.
Ooh, because you know I just want to go run over something. Not just kidding. Yes. Okay. Yes. Come on, Shadawn gonna be on the link on this Friday. Yes.
Oh,
Come on, Dante.
wait a minute, Dante. I was like, huh? Oh,
Okay.
you're right. Yes. Thank you, Dante. Yes.
Okay, so Dante said the first time I was called the N-word was during Air Force basic training. I was in the Army. Someone wrote F ends on the bathroom mirror in the barracks. Imagine being in a squadron of 50 airmen and only 5 of us were black. Slept with one eye open. Bruh, let me tell you something. I'm going to say this real quick, Dante, and Shadawn probably can attest to this. So me and my best friends were last year, 2020, and I told Shadawn this as well. I told her I ain't doing this. So they was like, let's go up to the cabin and and let's camp out and let's do that. No. What I know, what goes on in the backwoods, because I was in a little country town for the last couple of years of my high school years, those bonfires and those sock hops and whatever else they have out there, not for us, not for us. What I won't do is go to the woods and never come back. That is not an option. That's not an option. You better get in this backyard and pop a tent and put up a light that looks like the moon, and we're going to camp out there, because I ain't going to the woods. Ain't happening. But I know what you're saying, Dante. We had a 60-man barrack, and I slept with one eye open because those people from the South, wanted to tell us how to do what we do. Yeah.
And so, as we talk about this subject, I know just to lead into how, this even ties into HIV and the disparities that we see, unfortunately, so very often in the South, is the systematic racism that has been around for so long. And I'm actually a product of systematic racism. And when we talk about systems, guys, we're talking about the education system. We're talking about the housing system. We're talking about the healthcare system. We're talking about the systems that were created not with us in mind. And when I say us, I mean African Americans. I mean individuals that are of the LGBTQ community, QIA community. They were not built for indigenous individuals. Those systems weren't built for us. And so when we talk about how in the history of Blacks, we continue to be disproportionately impacted in so many ways. And so as we talk about HIV tonight, and we talk about all the other, adverse medical conditions that are impacting our community, the systematic racism and oppression has gone on far too long. So, just the story about that was just, and I didn't realize it. Someone had to, again, help me understand it, because for me, when I tell my story, and it's my story, and just a piece of it, I say, is that I was a young girl looking for love in all the wrong places. So yes, there was the behavioral component of a girl who was missing and looking for and searching for the love of her father. While at the same time, though, I was in a healthcare system that I literally went to the doctor almost every month, if not every other month. They recognized the signs and symptoms, or as we say, risk factors for a young girl that was potentially at risk for contracting HIV and syphilis, as the lead doctor said the year of my diagnosis, yet no one took the time out to talk to me. No one took the time out to ask what was really going on in my life, provide me with the resources that I needed, and or test me for HIV and or other, HIV and or syphilis. It took me emboldening myself to know what was going on, to say, something's not right, for me to ask. But guess what? When little Susie over here doing the same things that I was doing, coming in with the same STDs and infections, I'm sure she was given a different opportunity. I'm sure she got put into counseling and got a mentor, and all these different things were afforded her, because we know, because the data says that. So as we talk about, Black history, and we talk about this month and what it means, it's more than just this month. Because for me, I'm now unapologetically Black 365 days of the year. I'm not taking a break from being Black. I'm not taking a break from or allowing you to put your knee on my neck, my back, and that of me or anyone that looks like me. I'm done with that. It's now, for me, like you said in the beginning, we are making history. And I'm determined to, like now, this video will be out there for ages and years to come. Our blogs, we need to write about it. Our blogs will be there, guys. They will go down in history books. They will go down in someone's book if you write about it. Like now, writing about what happened at the Capitol. That's not, you can't take our stories from us. You can't take things that are now going to be history. Now we have an opportunity to rewrite the stories and start the books that our children and our children's children will be able to read. So that's how I feel about that. So.
Oh, speak. Oh, you know what? You know what? Hold on. It's not sangria, bro.
Well, it sure got a lot of fruit in it. I'm with
Yes.
Dante. I'm a little jealous.
I love a little fruit. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, so Shadawn is correct. We have to use what we have. I think silence is violence. If you are silent about what's going on, you are just as violent as the other person that's doing the violence, right? You're standing back watching this happen. And this was something, nothing against our ancestors or our elders or anything like that, but they were born and bred to believe that keeping it within the house and keeping it quiet was the thing to do, right? You didn't spread your news or anything like that. Shadawn just gave y'all what it was going on with her. Now, just think about somebody out there needed to hear that, right? Because somebody out there is looking for somebody that looks like them, right? Looking for somebody that's over there with the golden skin and the golden hair and the chucks and pearls on, looking for somebody like that. Me and Shadawn will always have these conversations. And I told Shadawn, and we both agree because we started this around the same time, that we are beacons. Like we have to be able to speak on it and talk. It's not for everybody. I understand that it's not for everybody, but I think that was a great segue into us talking about HIV. We want you to know what HIV is. We want you to know that there is such a thing as stigma, and we're out here trying to stomp out stigma, stop it completely, because there's so much around it. But whenever you see someone, I don't know if you ever saw those infomercials or commercials that used to come on late night, and they used to talk about people that were starving and all of this stuff like that, and they always would picture the worst, right? Now, I'm not going to tell you that I didn't have a time while I was at my worst, right? Because I went through a lot, during that. But notice what Shadawn said earlier, and what we continue to say: we're thriving, thriving. That means that we are out there doing it. Yes, we're HIV positive, but that doesn't stop us from doing what we need to do in order to live, right? But in order to be loved, in order to be there. So HIV may be prevalent, right? It may be all the way around you. Everywhere you look, you may see HIV. However, that doesn't mean that it's nasty, doesn't mean that it's vile, it doesn't mean that it stops you from living. What it means is basically you, right, have to live. You can't let the HIV live for you. You got to live for yourself. So I'm going to ask Shadawn, as we do, to tell the people, tell the people what is HIV, and what is it to. I heard you say something once before. You know what? We'll just start with that. What is HIV and what is AIDS? We'll start with that.
Jeez, oh Pete. Okay, he gave you. Y'all see what he just did? I won't even tell y'all. Tell y'all. But for those that don't know, HIV is. I'm sorry, guys. I was reading something just came up. So yes, HIV is a virus. However, what I try to get people to understand is that the virus is a breakdown of 3 words, and the first word of HIV is human. Got that? Me, you, Titan, everybody watching, we are humans, right? Okay, so we can't forget that. Human immunodeficiency virus is what HIV is. HIV began, or we first started hearing about it in the early 80s. And at that time, it was believed to have been a disease that was only attributed to gay men. It actually started out with the actual word. It was called GERD, GERD, and I don't remember all the acronyms, what the acronym breaks down. But the first one was gay. It was a gay man's disease, basically, is what they termed it as. There is, of course, speculation that HIV started in Africa, around in some transmission with the monkey, and we still don't know all the facts. I don't like to go into it necessarily because I don't want to take it. It takes away from the fact that HIV is real. We're not going to worry about. It's not that we're not going to worry about it, but I just think sometimes the real focus gets lost in how it got started. The fact is, it got started in the early 80s, and that's when we started to see it. And the way in which we saw it was in the gay community. However, as we know that HIV has transcended, it's not a gay man's disease. It's not. it's a human virus. It's a virus that impacts the human immune system. Then there is AIDS. AIDS is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. And so what that means is that your HIV diagnosis, if your T cells drop below a certain number and you acquire opportunistic infection in addition to your T cells being under 200, then it's what we say you acquired an immunodeficiency syndrome at that time, which is now a lot of people don't understand or don't know is that HIV is now a chronic manageable illness. And so HIV actually now, as we have learned and as we are starting to learn and grow, like everything, HIV is in some studies being considered in stages. So instead, because what we know is HIV as well as AIDS, they have very derogatory thoughts around them. It's the stigma. Thanks to the government. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for all you did for us, or for those that are living with HIV or AIDS. They have that shadow around them. And so instead, to normalize the illness, the virus, what is happening now is we're looking at HIV in stages, HIV 1, 2, and 3. And so stage 3 would be what's now known now as AIDS. And so that's where we are with what HIV and AIDS is. Don't know how much further you want me to go, Titan, but as we said, HIV has come a long way. Some of the other basics when we talk about HIV, what we want you to know is for those that are not living with HIV, but you may know someone or you have questions, the two important factors of a person living with HIV is what we call our T cells, and then, or they're called CD4 cells. I call them T cells, or you can call them CD4 in the medical terminology, and your viral load. And so the T cells is your immune system. That is your white blood count. That is your white blood cell count. And so you want your T cells to be, of course, in the normal range. Normal range is anywhere above 350, all the way up until I think like 1800, somewhere between 1800 to 2000. And then there's your viral load. Your viral load is how much of the virus is in your system, within your internal system of your body. And so those are the two main components, two of the main components, not the only, but the two main components that an individual with HIV, you're definitely going to be looking at. And those are the ones that really make an impact on your overall health outcomes, to get to a point where we'll talk about maybe later today or another day when we talk about undetectable equals untransmittable. So, and or viral suppression for some.
Yes. You see what I'm saying? Man, them Chucks and Pearls be telling it, don't it? Look, ladies and gentlemen, we're not bringing anything to you that you may not already know, but we do know that a lot of times people see HIV or they hear AIDS and then they automatically think derogatory, so they don't listen to what comes after. And for those of us who are thriving with HIV, this is important to us because not only is it important to us, but it's important to our family members, our friends, and our loved ones. You need to know where we're at. So we need to be able to tell you where we're at and what's going on. What I always tell people all the time, and I always ask this question, what are your numbers? I know it sounds a little direct, but we all know it's about numbers, right? She just said that basically what we're trying to do, you need more T cells. So I'm going to break it down for a 5th grade education. You see, I only got 4 fingers up, right? So those two things we need those T cells, right? Those are our fighters. Those are our soldiers. They come in and they go and they wreak havoc. Anything that's foreign coming into my body, my T cells are going to handle it, right? Then we need to know about our viral load, because our viral load needs to be low to undetectable, because the viral load is how many copies of the virus or disease, however you're saying it, the virus is in your body. So when we go to detect it, right, even a little bitty drop, the size, the head of this pen right here, right, has less than 50 or less than 20 copies in it, right, you're undetectable. And so what that means is you cannot transmit the virus to someone else because the virus is literally non-existent in your blood. Now, I know we still have HIV. I get it. But what we're doing, she just said it, it's manageable, right? We are able to thrive, live healthy lives, and be able to go, but you gotta know your numbers. You gotta know your numbers. And I know I sound like an older man here, like a teacher. You gotta know your numbers. But if you can do 2+2, then those two things need to be T cells and viral load. You need to know those two things. If y'all don't leave here with nothing else tonight, know that Shadawn and Titan told you that your T cells and your viral load are important.
Now, of course, that is for the individuals that are living with HIV.
Yes.
Now, for
Yes.
those that are not, the
Yes.
most important thing is I need you to know your status. That's what we need you to know if you don't leave with anything else. Because again, we're not going to assume that everybody on our live exactly get tested. Know your partner's status. Know your status.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I'm not going to assume that everybody, because we do have a huge following, and all of our following are not living with HIV. And
Right.
so as we share this video, as you like this video, as he said, you subscribe to his YouTube channel and subscribe to mine. The auspices is that this may not be your life story, but it may be the story of someone that you know. And this information may be, something that you feel is necessary to share. So yes, for those individuals that are living with HIV, yes, you got two, I need you to know your T cells and I need you to know your viral load. But for those that aren't, because again, as we talked about, this month on this Sunday is National Black HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, meaning that I need you to know your status.
Yes.
And how do you know your status? That means you get tested. You and your partner, if you have one, and if not, I just tell you this, even if you, on a, new journey of celibacy, it meaning that you at one time got some good, or at least I hope it was, that you're gonna go get tested. And that you are, doing your testing, whether that if you're in an active sexual relationship, I encourage people to do it every 3 months, a minimum of every 6 months if you are actively engaged in sexual intercourse. And again, if not, though, if you know that you are not in your celibate, but you still just want to get tested once a year just to be on the safe side, because we do know that HIV still has an opportunity to lay dormant for up to 10 years. And so don't assume just because you're not having sex right now, but you've had sex within the last 10 years, that you don't need an HIV test. And I also encourage my individuals that are married, yes, I said it, married, committed, got that ring, I still encourage you all as well to get tested. Not, to say anything about you or your partner, but the fact is that we know that HIV is real. So yeah, that's where I wanted to leave that. So
Indeed. So I'm gonna throw this back up here really quick. Get tested and know your partner status. So, ladies and gentlemen, Shadawn just told you, even if you have been on lockdown, right, for the last 10 years, you still need to know your status. If you've never had an HIV test, if you've never been tested, if you've never been tested for an STI or anything like that, know your status. You need to know that. And I think that's the sexiest thing ever. If we can sit down and have a conversation about what it is, there's no barriers, you know what I mean? And we can talk about that, that's sexy. I think that's sexy. Think about it like that. Don't you want to be sexy for the rest of your life? Know your status.
exactly.
Know your status, baby. Know your status. Okay.
No, and again, I'm just going, my hashtag is just what it says. My organization is just what it means. To know is to live. Knowing your status gives you an opportunity to live in your best life.
Okay.
You ain't going back and forth with you. You're living your best life. Y'all know how I do. I ain't no singer, but that's just my line. When he came out with that song, I said, really though? Thank you, Lil Duval. But yes, to know your status means is to live your best life. It means that you are taking charge, that you are being radical about your life and your self-care, and you're not putting it in the hands of anyone else. You're doing what you need to do. So I'm all about know and live, honey, y'all. That's what we only got one life, and I'm gonna live it.
Okay. So there are some questions coming into the comments here. I'm gonna put those up, and then, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna look at a short video. We're gonna take a little break really quick, and
He's about to embarrass me, but go ahead, guys.
Yes, I'm gonna let Shadawn school y'all, and only the way that she knows how. Yeah, but hold on, let's check this out. Okay, so Erica, yes. So sometimes, we do know that I'm not going to say that it's not possible, right, with a blood transfusion, but they have so many things in place now to make sure that you don't have. But I still suggest that you get tested. Period. Period. Right. And then Dante said, "What's the youngest age someone get tested?" Um, I believe that you are able to get tested as young as your parents may allow you to get tested, right? Sometimes I know that I had um, knowledge of an 11-year-old being tested because of there were some things going on in the house. And yeah, so I know, but I know that your parent would have to be able to sign off on you being tested
And I
because you,
believe, and that of course it depends on the age, and it also depends on the state.
oh, yeah.
Because I know here in the state of Texas, I believe it's 16, between 16 and 17, you can get tested without your parent. You can actually go on your own. I know definitely under the age of 16, you will have to have consent of a parent to be able to get tested here in the state of Texas. So it does depend on where you live, because like I said, actually for me in the state of Ohio, in the city of Cincinnati in 1995, at that time I was 17, and I requested the test on my own. My parent did not sign off on it. However, she did need to be present when the results were given. And so it does depend, I think, on the state and locality of where you are. What I do know, though, is that most adolescents, though, above age 14, can go get other STI and STD testing on their own. But HIV, it does, I believe, have to be 16 or 17.
Okay. See, there you go, right there, Dante. Oh, and Dante, do me a favor. Throw your information down into the comments as well. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say throw, like, but yeah, put your information down in the comments as well. Dante is out of California, but he also does work with HIV and AIDS and STIs and prevention and all of that good stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, please go look him up. He's going to put his info down in the comments. And Willie stated, "Can you mention places that offer free testing for those that might not know where to go?" Well, I can actually give you one. I actually work for the organization. It's AIDS Foundation Houston. It's free testing. You come in, you get tested. It's confidential, and then you can get that. There are others around the city. I put some into the comments, but I'll do it again for you, Willie. And if Shadawn knows of any, she can let you know as well.
Well, I didn't announce this, guys. I'm also an ambassador for the Let's Stop HIV Together campaign. I just became an ambassador last month. And so, yes, you can definitely go to cdc.org. And also there is where you can access on the website testing sites within your area. So all you will need to do is go on to the CDC, again, cdc.gov actually, and you can go on to Let's Stop HIV Together, and there's a link to find locations for testing in your area. The other thing is, if you are in the Houston, Texas area, there is, like Titan said, there is AIDS Foundation Houston. There is also AIDS Healthcare Foundation. They always trick me up because I don't understand this AHF and AFH. I have to literally pronunciate my words, guys. Don't you see? And so then there is also another organization that I honestly love. It is Be Busy Wellness Center.
Yes.
And then there is Be Busy Inc. And so the Wellness Center also has a variety of services. It's actually a qualified health center, as well as Be Busy Inc. And they do a lot of community outreach, prevention, as well as testing. They now have created mobile units. So they're often out in the communities on different days at different sites. So you can go to their Instagram page and follow and find where they are. Where else? There is... so there's AHF, and they have different locations. You can look them up, and that's AIDS Healthcare Foundation. But they also have a very secluded place where you can go get tested. And I don't know if Vernon is on here. They do testing at a resale shop, so you can go get your shop on and then get tested in the back. It's very discreet. Right. Nobody has to know. It's your business. So those are some. Oh, then there's Avenue 360. There is Legacy. There are so many opportunities. And the other thing that I want to let you guys know that's also going on is that there is collaboration. And again, I believe on the cdc.gov page, you will also find there are opportunities for you to do testing at home. Some of these organizations may also have piloted their program as well. But yes, there is now testing at home. Now, what I will say is I am not the biggest proponent. I will be honest. I think that unless you know, and you are comfortable with that, with doing that alone, then yeah. But there are opportunities through, I believe, Walgreens partnered with, I believe it's AIDS.org, one of the larger organizations, and they are offering opportunities for you to get an at-home test and test yourself at home. So there's a lot of opportunities, guys, out there. Hopefully you got that. If not, I'll give my information at the end. You can DM me. You can DM, of course, Titan. You can put it down here. I'll read the comments if I get a moment, and I will definitely drop some other information in there for you guys.
And y'all, you know what? I'm loving y'all. Y'all better give us all this love. Y'all better ask these questions. That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So I put down in the cdc.gov and aidshelp.org, and then I'll put in the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, like she said, Busy Bee.
It is not Busy Bee.
What did I say?
It's okay. They used to it.
My bad. Y'all know, you know what? I'm gonna leave that to Shadawn then. I'm not even gonna touch it. I love them because we do work with them as well. So we will put that info down in. But thank y'all. Keep the questions coming. Y'all like, share. Y'all show me and Shadawn some love. Make sure y'all let us know it that y'all are in it about this fight that we have with HIV and stigma. Because there is a lot of stigma around it, and we're constantly having to fight stigma just because we don't succumb to what AIDS or HIV is supposed to look like. And I know that we don't use AIDS like that anymore, right? But with National Black, and I'm going to say it again, National Black HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, that's Black history. Like we were just talking about earlier. HIV and AIDS is Black history, right? Not in a derogatory sense, but it has affected us and affected us in a way that we can't deny it. So that's our history. And the only way that you're going to be able to know your history is to know your history. And that's what we're talking about today. So this is going to go down, like Shadawn said, in history, and this is going to be it. But we want you all to know exactly what it is. So I'm going to play this video. Shadawn is saying that I probably shouldn't, but she loved me. So I'm going to play this video. And when I play the video, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about what Shadawn talked about. So y'all seen it here for the first time. This is the world premiere of Cooking with Shadawn. Yeah.
Welcome to Leap to Action, Baking with Shadawn McCants. Today we are going to make a juicy, moist, delicious sex positivity cake. And you ask, what goes in that cake? Well, the first ingredient is self-love, making sure that you are loving all over yourself and the person that you're with knows that you are assured in who you are. Next ingredient is a safe space, making sure that you and the person you're with feels comfortable where you are. Next, you want to make sure that you are taking your medications and doing what you need to do so that you are living your best life and healthy. Next ingredient you may want to have is some sex toys. Yes, I said it, sex toys. That's always an enjoyable thing when baking sex positivity. Last but not least, some arousal is definitely necessary to make sure that this cake is juicy, tender, moist. Oh my God, this cake will be the bomb with Leap to Action, sex positivity.
Ladies and gentlemen, I love it. Look, ladies and gentlemen, look. I didn't tell Shadawn until before we got on. I said, Shadawn, I got something that I want to show. And so Shadawn and I both was a part of the Leap 2020, Project Leap 2020 with the Ryan White Council. And it was a great experience. We learned a lot. We learned a lot about Ryan White, what it does, and all of that good stuff. And so I wanted to share with you all what Shadawn and I had done and been through. And then I wanted to have Shadawn speak to that, but I see we got some comments, so I'm going to go with the comments, and let's see here. We're going to start. Hey, Crystal. Hello, that's not Crystal. I'm in and shared because this is Black history also. Exactly, Erica. Sometimes we think Black history looks a certain way, but it does not, because really and truly, we're all Black. All Black lives matter. We're all Black. And then HIV and AIDS is a part of our Black lives in a way that we have to be able to tell and make sure that we let people know what's really going on. Hey, Marcus. All right. Hey. This is another one of our people out there in the world, in another state, doing the work, making sure that everybody is good. Mathis.
They are down in Florida, I believe.
Yes.
Matthias, yeah, he is definitely, he is in the Florida area, I believe. Exactly. Like you said, he's also an ally. I have to take a moment and say this. I thank you guys that are on here. I thank you guys that are liking and sharing. Like he said, keep the comments coming. We are here for you. And yes, Titan got me with that one, guys. As he said, we are actually 2020 graduates of Project LEAP. It is a part of the Ryan White Association here in the Houston chapter. And LEAP stands for Leading Education and Advancing Professionals. Yes, he has his award up there. And so what LEAP does is this program allows us the opportunity to become leaders in our community around HIV and AIDS, and also working in partnership and in conjunction with Ryan White, the Ryan White Committee. And so it was a phenomenal opportunity that not everyone gets. Actually, our judge, Hidalgo, has to sign off on you being a part of the program as well as you're part of your graduation. And so we learned for, I believe, 17 weeks online. So it's a little different than how it's normally done. But for 17 weeks, we came together and we merged our minds and our hearts, and we learned some wonderful information on how we can continue to just give back to you guys. You know, how we can continue to be there for our community, how we can engage those living and those that are allies and those that we want to stay negative. So it was a great opportunity. And yes, that was our project that we had to do. Me and Titan came up with some, you know,
exactly.
some TikToks to do, because we wanted to make sure that we were grabbing every audience that we could grab to make sure that they understand exactly sex positivity and what that looks like. Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, yes, come on. So I'm just gonna tell Shadawn right now with y'all, we still got one more video. So just be ready. Just be ready. You're right, Crystal. HIV 3, we understand. Yes, language first. Let's steer clear of saying infected. That produces stigma type of language. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Did she pour the whole bottle of Big Tarvy into the mixing bowl?
Actually, it was Devato, and I can say that because I'm not on we're not sponsored by anybody. It was Devato, but it was a simulation, yes. Wow, yeah. You know, one of the things I tell people is I swallow to look this good. You know, don't get it twisted.
Come on. Yes, indeed, Erica. Hey, Justin, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Yes, indeed, sir. He did. He said Florida. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Crystal said Texas does a great presentation. PWN, Texas does a great presentation on stigmatizing language associated with HIV. Indeed.
Actually, I'm also a presenter for that. Mm-hmm.
Indeed. Well, thank you. Sure, thank you.
Why you think I have not used the words infected? I don't use that word. I'm a woman that's living with HIV. I'm not HIV, and no one with HIV is actually HIV. You're living with, you were diagnosed with, you're not it. So.
That's it. And so Crystal said LEAP stands for Learning, Advocacy, Education, and Participation. Come on. That's cool too. That's it. Yes, indeed. So ladies and gentlemen, y'all keep it coming. Keep the questions coming. And if any of you are out there and you have any information, Matthias, I always say Matthias. I always want to say Mathis. Matthias. Is it Matthias? Yeah.
Matthias.
Yeah. So Matthias, put your information in as well. We want to make sure that we're all the way around. Even though you're in Florida, somebody in Florida may be looking at this right here and going in. So go ahead and put your information in. We want to give a voice and a platform for everybody out here in this fight and what we're doing. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So Shadawn just talked about sex positivity, right? In that brand new world premiere video that you all just saw. So this is what people used to always say all the time, right? No sex, right? And that's not where we're at. We want you to be sex positive. We want you to have some sex positivity about what's going on and what's happening, right? So what that means is basically you're going to be sex positive. You're going to talk about sex. You're going to talk about what HIV means. You're going to talk about being tested. You're going to talk about all of those things with your partner. You don't have to shy away from it. You don't have to turn the lights off. You don't have to, you know what I mean? You ain't got to do all of that. You can actually be sex positive and speak and talk and understand what's going on. Now, look, for those of you out there who want to say you ain't got time to be talking and doing all of that, right? What I want you to do is be informed. If you're out there having sex, period, whether it's period, you need to be informed. You need to be informed. You need to be informed about STIs. You need to be informed about HIV. You need to be informed about PrEP. You need to be informed about everything that's out there, because this is what happens. This is how a virus or a disease can grow and spread and become a pandemic, an epidemic, because we don't talk about it. We don't discuss it. If I was to ask you right now, did you talk to your partner before the last time you laid down with them? Did you ask about a status? Do you know how to put on a condom correctly? Do you know how to go and look for it? Someone just asked about free testing and things like that. Those are things that you need to talk about. Those are things that you need to have. So be sex positive. Be sex positive. And we're not talking about you rolling out there and doing whatever it is you're doing, because you're going to do it anyways and do that. It's nothing wrong with it. I'm not talking down. I'm just saying be sex positive, right? Show some sex positivity when you are engaging in whatever it is you're engaging in. Know, right? Learn, okay? And thrive. Oh, that might be a nice little catchphrase. I don't know. Mm-hmm. All right. So he said basically Neighborhood Medical Center, Tallahassee, Florida. He put the information down into the comments, and you can actually email him at the email down below. Right. Krista says, for those who don't know who I am, I'm the current sitting secretary of the Houston Ryan White Planning Council. If anyone is interested in the council or learning more about HIV services in the Houston EMA, gotcha. I got you. I can be reached via email, and she gave her email as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have people all in the comments that are doing the work, that are getting it out there. And so please, please, please contact these people. It's not that old thing of, oh, I don't want to email you, or I don't want to call. No, we want you to email us, talk to us, come on these lives, share them, do all of that good stuff. The only way that we can eradicate it, get rid of it, put it in its place, okay? That's the only way we can do that. So, Don, do you have anything else for the audience before I put in this next premiere video?
No, go ahead, Titan, since I didn't know about this one either, but I think I know what this one might be.
Yes, so, I think you do.
As I'm going to say, hit it.
Hit it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, world premiere, world premiere.
So you're asking Leap to Action, can you take PrEP? Well, we're going to rock it out for you. PrEP.
Can I take a PrEP? Yes. First step is to test. You need to be negative in PrEP. 1 pill a day. Safe. Hold up. Y'all want to know where to go get PrEP? Y'all want to know if you're eligible for PrEP? Y'all want to know some resources about PrEP? Then follow Leap to Action.
Follow down below. Leap, class, let's tell them one more time what they need to do. PrEP.
Prep, 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 prep. Prep, 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 prep.
I love it. Every time I see it, I just get tickled. I love it. I love it. I love it. Look, look, look. So, ladies and gentlemen, it kind of got you, didn't it? Didn't it? Didn't it? It kind of took it to a little bit. Look, so y'all, look, Shadawn and I was a part of the 17-week training, and we could tell you that it was something other than a experience where we learned a lot, but we also met some good people, some great spirits, and then a lot of people that are in the fight that we didn't even know was in the fight, right? And so we are running in these circles all the time, and you don't really know who's who. Like even Crystal being on here now, Crystal is basically part of the Ryan White Council. And actually, Crystal was the person I talked to before I actually went in and applied for the actual class. So it's a lot going on in the class, but don't let that deter you. What it is that we want to have soldiers, right, on the streets. We want you to be equipped with knowledge and understanding of what HIV is. We want you to know what Ryan White does. We want you to know where you can get assistance. And then the biggest thing is everybody thinks that Ryan White is just this, right? It's a whole plethora of things. And I think it's great for you to be a part of this class. If you're in the city of Houston, but also in any other state, I believe that there are Texas, only Texas.
A lot of other states don't offer a LEAP program. They may offer something, an extension, but like now I have a friend of mine who is a woman living with HIV, living and thriving. And when I told her I was in LEAP, she's in the Memphis, Tennessee area,
Gotcha.
and was hopeful that there was something like that, but they didn't have anything.
Okay.
So I don't think it's in every state. Again, we down here in Texas kind of do
I know.
things,
Look, you see
a
me?
little different. We do things a little bigger and better. So yeah, it's not, but definitely if they don't, and you're in that area, again, whether you're an individual that's living with HIV or an ally to those that are, it wouldn't hurt you to maybe consider having the conversation in the circles and the communities to see if it's something that they can get, because it is a program that was very empowering. It really taught us about advocacy. And really how to step up and be a participant in the community. So
Indeed.
Definitely, it was awesome.
Indeed. And so Crystal said, if you would like to view the council at work, all meetings are open to the public. We're conducting meetings via Zoom. Please contact the Houston Ryan White Office of Support for the Zoom link. Council meetings are generally held the second Thursday of each month. So ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. Let me say it like this. If you're worried about like somebody trying to get you to join, somebody trying to bamboozle you, hoodwink, anything like that, that's not what it is. I think you should attend a meeting just to know, especially if you are wondering about what's going on, if you're wondering about services, if you're wondering about organizations, things like that, then it takes nothing for you to go and just sit in and see how it works, right? It's open to the public. You can contact Crystal. She has the information on here. And Erica said, yes, love it. Good job. Thank you, Erica. Yeah, thank you, Crystal. We did that. So she said most states have a council, but they don't have a LEAP style program. Correct. So look, I'm gonna tell y'all this. Y'all hit up Crystal. She's the queen bee. Y'all hit her up. She can tell y'all more about that good old LEAP and all that other good stuff like that in the council, and be good. But I do want to say thank you to the council for number one, choosing us, right? We went in and interviewed and all that good stuff and were chosen for that. And our class was unique because it represented a large amount of the public that you don't really see, right? If you notice in the video, there were there was the gay black male, the heterosexual woman, there was the black, there was the Caribbean, there was the Hispanic. So it you don't necessarily see all of that in certain representation. And so it was good for us to be able to know what everybody else is doing and know how they feel about that, because HIV basically affects and effects, right, everybody differently, right? Shadawn and I share a connection with it, but it affects us differently, right, in a certain way. So yeah, Shadawn, what you have to say with that?
No, I think everything has been said about that. I thank you for debuting our. So yes, guys, like I said, we did those videos. As you saw the information in there, even though it was fun. Hopefully, if you play this back, or we eventually will post them on our TikTok pages, because that's where they were created for. And again, it's just an opportunity to start conversation. As you know, the last video was about PrEP. And so again, I'm sure that on another time we'll come back and we'll have a conversation with you about PrEP. But for those that don't know, just really briefly, like it said, PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis. And so that is a medication that an individual can take. Okay. Pre-exposure prophylaxis, as I stated, PrEP is a 1 pill a day medical intervention that prevents transmission of the virus more than 90% of the time. It actually is 98% with the last studies. And so again, it's 1 pill that you take once a day. Again, as we know, though, unfortunately, PrEP was marketed to a particular community of individuals, but now I'm here to tell you that PrEP is available to anyone that goes into their doctor's office that is negative. And of course, after certain tests are taken, to make sure that your kidneys are functioning correct, your bone density is at a proper level, you too can possibly be eligible to be on PrEP. PrEP is a medication that prevents you from contracting HIV at a 98% efficacy. It's not 100%, but it definitely is at least 98% effective. There is also 2 medications for PrEP. There is what the first medication was Truvada. The second medication now is Biktarvy? No, Descovy. Is Descovy. Don't know. Biktarvy is actually an HIV med. Let me correct myself. The 2 medications for PrEP is Truvada and Descovy. Unfortunately, though, again, as we talk about the disparities in the community of HIV, in the arena of HIV, that Descovy is not and cannot be used for heterosexual cisgender females. Go figure. But again, and you wonder why I'm doing the work that I do around Black women and girls in HIV, because we need to be included in everything when it comes to ending the epidemic of HIV. But nevertheless, I'll get off my soapbox for just a second. And again, PrEP is there. We didn't talk about in our video, and again, we want to talk about other measures in a later video for sure, is PEP. And that is post-exposure prophylaxis. And so that is a regimen of medications that you can get in case, for instance, an individual that may have been sexually assaulted, someone who may know that they came into contact with someone who is living with HIV, or you just feel like, that was some old risky nonsense that I did. I don't feel safe. And you can go and talk to your provider and or at the emergency room and be placed on PEP. PEP is a dose of medication that you will have to take for 30 days after the exposure. And again, the efficacy for that is around between that 90 to 95%, 98% range that you will not contract HIV from an occurrence. It's kind of like the plan B for HIV. So, yeah. And do you have an idea when the injectable PrEP will hit the market? Actually, if I'm correct, it has already hit the market. But again, I don't know if we really want to talk about that in this episode, because we will be definitely coming back to talk about more about prevention. And we will talk about, all the things that go into an individual living an undetectable lifestyle, life. With this virus, individuals that, achieve viral suppression. What is the difference? Because there is a difference between undetectable and viral suppression. A lot of people don't know that. So yes, but definitely, Dante, to answer your question, I know it has FDA approval. I cannot tell you for sure if it's on the market, but I know that it's coming very, very soon. I can also tell you that I was a part of one of my first research studies that I ever participated in 24 years of living with HIV. I was a part of one of the ones that's still in its third phase of the trial. And I have to say it was the best thing since sliced bread. But again, we can talk about that at a later time.
Indeed. We do not want to just leave y'all, right? But so I want to say I thoroughly enjoyed this. Shadawn and I had been asked over and over and over again when we were going to do this again, when we were going to come together and talk about some things, because as I stated before, that Shadawn and I started our journeys around the same time, and we kind of both was like across the room, like, oh, okay, I see you. I see what you're doing. So, and what we wanted to do, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to say this because I want y'all to understand that in this broadcast that is live, we may have talked about some things that were not, how can I say, PC, right? But the reason why we're talking like that to you all, or we're giving it to you all that way, is because we want to be real. We want you to understand that we came from where we came from and where we're at now. Language, right? We came from derogatory language. We came from stigmatizing language, abuse, molestation, rape, things like that. So we don't ever want to sugarcoat it, right? So that's how we come. And if you know Shadawn and I, we shoot from the hip anyways. Like we're gonna give it to you, good, good, but then we're gonna put a little gravy on it. We're gonna tell you what it is. And not that old light gravy. I'm talking about that 30-weight gravy. That's the kind of gravy I'm talking about.
That gravy made in a cast iron skillet.
Come on.
And cooked real well. So yeah, like he said, I don't know if we really were that raw this evening. And if someone did find it to be raw, again, I'm going to go into my therapist mode, and I'm going to need you to tap into yourself to find out why something that I said would offend you so much. Definitely, what we know is that we're not for everyone. Right. But I do like that you said, this is just what it says, though. Yeah. I am a very person about candid, courageous conversations. And the only way that you can have courageous conversations is to be able to be candid, meaning is to tell the truth. And so I'm always going to do that. I'm always going to bring that to you. And I'm going to bring it in love, but I'm going to be me. I can't be anything else. When I decided to come out with my story and share my story with the world, I also decided to also walk out of the shadows of shame, fear, and guilt of what someone had said, what someone would think, what someone would say. As long as I know that I'm walking in purpose and passion, and more importantly, purpose, what I was called here and brought here to do, I'm not going to apologize for anything that I have done. Again, now, of course, if I ever thought for any reason that I was offensive or that I offended you, then yes, I would correct that. But I don't think that we did that tonight, Titan. I think that we dropped some knowledge nuggets on the folks. We gave them a few comedic videos to watch. And hopefully we left you pondering about some things with regard to HIV, with some things regarding to HIV prevention, pondering on, maybe I do need to get tested. Maybe it has been a little while. That ponder on, wow, I did not know how systematic racism is still impacting HIV in 2021. Wow, I didn't know that out of 1.1 million individuals in the U.S. living with HIV, over 51% of them are living in the South, in the Bible Belt. That 1 in every 2 men that sleep with men, or as we now term it, same gender loving sex, will be impacted or infected, and I'm sorry to say that, but will contract HIV in their lifetime. That 1 in every 48 Black women will contract HIV in their lifetime. 1 in 9 individuals are living with HIV and don't know their status. So hopefully we left you with some things to ponder on, okay? That's what we're here for. We will come back to you. We will be here again. And I know he's going to tell me to tell you how to find me. I am Shadawn McCants. I put my name down there, everything. That's how you'll find me. Shadawn McCants on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. I don't know what it is on Snapchat. Not that I'm on there that often. I'm going to be honest. I don't need too many filters. Catch that, catch
Come
which
on,
club, which
catch it.
club. It's like, no,
Catch
I'm just joking. But no, you can catch me, and I am very open, guys. If there is anything that I can do, I tell people as a licensed professional counselor, but first and foremost, I'm a lover of souls. That's what I was called here to do. And so I'm going to do just what I was called to do. And so if you need anything and there's something that maybe I can connect you with services, or I can continue to navigate through my nonprofit, that's what we do, is connect you right now until we begin some additional services. But yes, we are here for you, honey.
Come
We're
on.
going to do what we got to do. Like I said, if you're living with HIV, we are here to love on you. We are here to, again, stand in the gap until you're ready to do it, because you don't have to be here. May not be your platform, but know that there's a community waiting to love you, waiting to hold you, waiting to comfort you in your steps and meet you where you are. But for
Yes.
those that aren't, we are also here to drop some knowledge nuggets and give you some thoughts to ponder so you can continue to stay negative, all right? And live your
Okay.
best life.
Yes, you gotta say it. You gotta say it. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we get out of here, I just want to mention a couple of things. It is Black History Month. And as we stated early on in the conversation, this courageous, this candid conversation that we had, you are Black history. So start speaking on your history, taking your history as an important thing and letting your children know, letting your loved ones know your status, letting your children know, letting your loved ones know. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we cannot afford to allow individuals, young or otherwise, to be in the dark about what's going on, right? We are dying at an alarming rate, and it is not okay for us to be silent. Because remember what we said, silence is violence. If you're out there just watching it happen, you're just as bad as they are, in a sense, right? So go ahead, make sure that you know your status and you do that. Find out about your Black history. Ask your elders in your family about what was going on when they were young and at it and doing what they were doing. They can let you know something. One other thing, too, on National Black HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, which is observed on Monday. Um,
Sunday. It's
yeah,
Sunday.
but they observing it on Monday, though, right? Yeah,
Oh, observing it. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
7.
Yeah, so it's the 7th, but they're going to observe it on Monday. I am going to be part of a dramatic reading of the All Boys on Blue and Stigma Gotta Go. So on Monday, February the 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern, which would be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, there'll be a dramatic reading. And then look who's all going to be on board and doing it. Jennifer Lewis. That's Jennifer Lewis, right? Dylan Burnside. I think I said that correctly. Bernard David Jones and Thomas Hobson. And the book is All Boys Aren't Blue, award winning. I think it's going to be great. And it's going to be done on the day, the 8th, which they're going to observe the National Black and HIV Awareness Day. So tune in. I'll be streaming. We'll be on with that. And then also, too, lastly, I want to say to you all that this has been great. Thank you, Shadawn, for coming on. I appreciate you. I love you and all that you do and all that you bring to the table and all of that good stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, what I want to say to you today is that Shadawn and I are thriving. We are thriving with HIV. And we want you to know that HIV can look like this and we're thriving. But we cannot thrive without knowledge and understanding. We cannot thrive without knowledge. So speak to your people and then look. If you see me around and I happen to say something, have you been tested? What's your numbers? Don't get offended. Just go on and tell me, have you been tested and what's your numbers? And then we'll be all right. No, just we'll be okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. There are some, let me go ahead and go down the comments before we go, just to make sure everybody has heard. Sandy said, speak. And Sandy said, speak. Yvette said, hey, Yvette, said, thank you for sharing. She loved it. This was great and very informative. You guys keep up the good work. Peace and blessings. Yes, Erica, thank you. And then Crystal says, inbox me the flyer so I can share on my social media platforms. Will do, Crystal. I'll inbox you as soon as we're out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to you before we go, last thing. There is no other reason that you were put on this earth there was no other reason that you were put on this earth other than to be blessed and to be a blessing. And if you're a blessing, then you are already blessed. And if you're blessed, then you've already been a blessing. Y'all get out of here. Get out of here. See y'all later. Peace and blessings to you. Yes.
Bye, guys.
Hashtag T2P, come and take a sip of the thought with me.